Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another POV review. Today we're going to be checking out this 2018 Mercedes E-Class E200. Now it is in grey, as you can see. It's the middle of the lineup of sedans that Mercedes currently has. So you have the C-Class, the E-Class, and of course the S-Class. So this example is equipped with a 2-liter four-cylinder driven to the rear wheels. So it's sporting 245 19-inch wheels all around in this very nice metallic grey. So this is the base model, and you'll get a 2-liter four-cylinder with 184 brake horsepower, I think, and 300 newton meters of torque. It's pretty big. I'll first walk you around, show you the boot size, which is pretty good. Now, not electronically operated, sadly enough. This is the boot space. It's pretty good. There's some stuff in here, but let's move this over real quick. And as you can see, quite a lot of space. You also have this in an estate if you want. However, don't see those that often. Usually it's the sedan, which I personally think looks really good. So this is the interior of the E-Class. Very nice leather seats, Burmeister audio, which sounds really good, and it's just all around a really good looking car, I think. So let's get in the back, show you what the leg space is like. So that is sitting behind myself. I am 1 meters 83 centimeters, and as you can see, I have plenty of leg room. Also, this car is equipped with a pretty nice looking sunroof, so you have a double one, so in the rear and in the front, which really looks quite classy. You can also open up the front part of the sunroof, which is really nice. Seats are nice. They give in the rear not as much bolstering as in the front, but that's all right. So let's jump into the driver's seat. I'll start her up. Little shoe tap. So foot on the brake, start button over here. And yeah, that's the way the engine sounds. See if I can give her some revs. That sounds all right. It's only quite a small engine, so let's pop the hood, show you what is underneath. So this car is a rear-wheel drive, which is pretty nice. Gives you a bit more sporty feel. And there you have it. Nicely detailed, so it's pretty clean, which is good. Close her up. So it is mounted to the rear because it's rear-wheel drive. So let's jump in and take her for a drive. So sitting in the interior of the E-Class, you're greeted with two lovely, I think 12.9-inch screens, LCD screens. They look really good. Very good viewing angles, very wide. You can have all sorts of information open on the central screen. Now you have this little touch screen, I should say touchpad, I think. This touchpad in the middle, which you can control all the functions with. You can also do it with the scroll wheel over here. And you can also use these to change modes if you want, or well, operate the main screen on the right. Now you also have a screen on the left, which you can also change some functions in. You can, for instance, have a nice map, eco, whatever you want. You can put it on there. And with the left pad, you can control the central screen, change through the trip computer if you want. And also, yeah, look at all the stats you want to have. So let me just switch it back to the tachometer and take her for a drive. Now the transmission stock is on the steering wheel with most Mercedes. So you put your foot on the brake, put her into drive, and you're ready to go. One thing I should also mention, that this car is also equipped with a nice 360-degree camera. Let's see if I can bring it up here. As you can see, nice top-down view on the sides. You can look at everything you want to. Lots of cameras on here, and it also has active lane assist, so it keeps you in the center of the lane. Adaptive cruise control, all the creature comforts you would like to have, I think, in a car like this. So let's go and take her for a drive, I guess. So taking the E-Class for a drive, this is running a 8-speed automatic transmission, which is really smooth. You also have a few driving modes that you can select. You can change that by putting the wheel up or down, change from comfort to sport to eco, sport plus as well. However, in the short time that I have driven this, I found out that comfort is really where it's at with this car. It's really meant for comfort. You especially feel it when you're driving, that the comfort mode is the best one to use. So a very smooth transmission. You hardly feel the shifting when it's going on. It's really good. When you put it in sport, it's a bit more harsh, the shifting points, but it's still, I think, really good. Now you have to wait for me. Yes, thank you. And the power, 184 horsepower, doesn't sound like a lot. Well, isn't really a lot, but I think for this car it does quite suit it well. It's enough. You're able to do 0 to 100 or 0 to 60 miles an hour in about 7.7 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, which is plenty. I mean, it's good enough. It's pretty quick, especially for day-to-day use, especially for roads here in the Netherlands. Cars like these are, yeah, more than fast enough. Now he is going straight. We are going also straight. Where's this car going? It's going to the left. Perfect. Right, give her some gas. So that is in comfort mode. Doesn't really like it in comfort mode. When you flip it in sport, it's a lot more direct. You get a lot more power. I have the feeling that you do, but this is all right. You also get some nice flappy paddles, so some pedals behind the steering wheel, which is quite normal nowadays, I would say. Now also in the interior of this E-Class, you have very nice mood lighting. Now it's very light, so you can't really see it, but sometimes you do get a glimpse when there is enough shadows. You get a glimpse of what the mood lighting looks like. You can change a lot of colors if you want to, and it really makes it a bit more, oh, it feels really high-end actually. Now suspension wise on this car, it is not running air suspension, which I did think was an option. However, it doesn't really need it actually, because the way the suspension is set up right now, especially in comfort, is really comfortable. You can just glide over bumps, and yeah, you do feel it, but it's actually handling it quite well, I think. So if you don't push the pedal too hard, it's actually quite smooth. Let's flip her into Sport Plus. Yes, and use the pedals, which this car isn't really intended for, but hey, whatever. You can feel that the suspension is set up for comfort, so for driving in comfort it's excellent. However, if you want to do a bit more sporty driving, I don't think it's that great because it's too soft. It wobbles around a bit, especially I just noticed that when putting it through a corner, it's a bit too comfortable for my likings, but that is what this car is supposed to be. Now, I would imagine that driving this every day would be a very lovely experience. You also have nice seat heating, electronically operated seats. So the seats in this, they're quite comfortable. A bit too much lumbar support for me. I tried turning it back a bit, but sadly enough, I'm not able to. I think this is the max it will go. However, these seats are pretty comfortable. Now, some Mercedes that I've driven in the past, they don't have that comfortable seats, especially the Mercedes E-Classe or CLA, more the more basic models, the first in the lineup. I personally don't like their seats unless you get the more comfortable oriented seats. So sport seats, not for me in Mercedes. However, I've never sat in something like a performance Mercedes, so I can't say for sure. But hey, now I'll show you the adaptive cruise control. It's pretty nice, so I can just set it with the little stalk over here. Now, oh yeah, of course it's keeping distance. You can change the amount of distance it needs to keep with this little knob on the side, which you can set the distance. You can also turn on the adaptive lane assist. Now, as you can see, it's trying to steer itself. I don't think it's really meant for roads like these, but hey, it does work. And if you're on the highway, you turn this on, it should be really comfortable. Now, it probably doesn't like this. No, it doesn't. Starts blinking at me. It's kind of angry. and you can just keep it in the center of the lane, see if it can cope with this pretty sharp turn. No, it cannot. It didn't like that, which isn't strange because these roads, they're not really meant for adaptive cruise control. However, if you're on the highway and it's a slight curve, it should be really good, very comfortable, and it just does what it needs to do. It's pretty great. Put on the adaptive cruise control and just let her roll. So now everything is set up so that it does the steering itself. You probably have to wobble around the steering wheel every now and again, but it's very comfortable. It also has traffic sign recognition and pretty much all the basics you would expect for a car in this class. So this is well, it's an E-class, it's also in the E segment. So costing new 67,000 euros. It's quite expensive. Now cars here in the Netherlands, they get quite heavily taxed. So where you would find this car, for instance, in Germany for maybe 45, 50, here in the Netherlands it's a lot more expensive. Now this is just the basic model. You also have the E300, I think, the E400 even. That's usually a bigger engine. I do think that a V6 would fit quite nicely in this, but sometimes you're just gonna have to do with what you get. So this interior, it's really nice. I would definitely like to see myself driving this around every day. It would be a total comfort thing, I think. Now these touch pads, I'm not too sure about. You can use these to control what is on your screen. Just give me buttons. Like, now I shouldn't complain that much because there's a lot of buttons in this Mercedes. Also very nicely finished buttons. They all feel really nice. They're either metal or plastic, and also for the window switches, they just feel high-end. And it's something, well, pretty stupid actually, that the high-end buttons make the car, but I do really like it a lot. So now you should be able to see what the car does with a highway corner. As you can see, it's actually steering itself, which is pretty funny. I always find it quite strange. Not sure if I 100% trust it yet, but I think it's just a matter of getting used to it. Now this car has done 75,000 kilometers. It is for sale here in the Netherlands. So I've borrowed this from one of my contacts, and it's always nice to drive cars like these, especially new. They were quite expensive. Now I do really want to drive an S-Class someday, so let's hope we get there. Driving an S-Class, comparing it to this, I'm very curious to see what the main differences are. Like this, I already feel really luxurious, so I'm very curious to see how like the step above does. It's probably gonna be even better, especially if you have stuff like pneumatic suspension, or air suspension I should say. That's probably going to make a lot of difference with the way it rides. But in general, really good car. I would definitely recommend it. I'm not sure about reliability, but from a driving point of view, if you do a lot of kilometers, let's say a day or a week, and you want a really comfortable car, I do think that you would be quite well off with this. Now the car is going to brake automatically. As you can see, I'm not touching anything. It's using the adaptive cruise control to slow me down all the way and bring me to a standstill. Now I just turn it off. I'm gonna switch off the buttons as well. This is really good. All right. Audio system in this is really good. Burmeister, which is actually an extra option which you have to purchase, but I do really think that it makes a great sound. Now that over there is a nitrous blue Ford Focus RS. You don't see those often. Now that is cool. It's green, hello. That's nice. That's really nice. I think we pretty much covered the basics of this E-Class. So if you're looking for a really luxurious E-segment car, and you don't want something like a BMW 5 Series or maybe an Audi, I think A6, yeah, this is definitely a very good contender. So I would highly recommend you checking it out. Even in this E200 trim, so the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo with 184 brake horsepower, it's plenty. I would definitely recommend you check this out. It's a really good car, and that's pretty much going to be it for now. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give a like, it really helps me out a lot. And if you want to see more of my future content, be sure to subscribe. And yeah, thanks again guys, and I'll see you in the next video.